Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. Then when he made $500 million, they said even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract to be valid.
Did your wife and children know where you were going?
No.
No, nobody knew.
No. I bounced.
Now, that sounds a little crazy.
It's not crazy because the situation kind of warranted it.
The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
People love to say Dave Chappelle walked away from a $50 million deal because he cracked under pressure, but that's far from the truth. Katt Williams and a few resurfaced papers tell a different story. The real figure wasn't $50 million, it was nearly $500 million, $500 million that Chappelle's show earned for Comedy Central. And by contract, Dave was supposed to receive half of it. But when it came time to pay up, everything flipped. Suddenly, the narrative was that Dave had lost his mind. Oprah even went on air hinting that he was paranoid. Then, out of nowhere, they came back with a much smaller offer, pretending it was some generous favor. When Dave refused to play their game, they didn't just cancel his show, they tried to cancel him.
He made $500 million and they offered him 50? Yes. And he said, what do you think my fans are going to say when they find out you offered me 10% of what I made you? And they said, your fans will believe that you're a crazy crackhead by the time you get home.
Back in the early 2000s, television was in a strange transition. Reality TV was becoming the new obsession, while classic sitcoms were losing their spark. Networks were scrambling for something bold, something that could shake things up. That's when Dave Chappelle came along with Chappelle's show, and everything shifted. His sketches weren't just funny, they were powerful statements wrapped in humor. Week after week, he delivered sharp social truths hidden beneath the jokes, taking aim at racism, politics, and the entertainment industry itself, all while leaving audiences laughing so hard they could barely breathe.
Excuse me. Not sure we're in the right place. We're looking for Clayton Bigsby.
Well, look no further, fella. You found me.
Clayton Bigsby, the author?
What, you don't think I can write them books? Just because I'm blind don't mean I'm dumb.
How could this have happened? A black white supremacist.
What about people who say you're only interested in the Middle East for oil?
What? Huh? Oil? Who said something about oil, bitch? You cooking? The only way I open the studio up now, y'all gotta walk uptown to the Bronx and get breast milk from a Cambodian immigrant. I only drink the finest breast milk.
Dave Chappelle never played it safe. Not with his jokes, not with his bosses, and definitely not with the people cutting his checks. Still, Chappelle's show became a goldmine. The DVDs sold out everywhere, Comedy Central's ratings skyrocketed, and the network basically built its entire identity around Dave's genius. But while the show was making hundreds of millions, Dave was only seeing a small piece of the pie. That's where things started to get dark. When the profits hit a certain level, the rules suddenly changed, and so did the game. Dave's contract kept him from publicly talking about what was really going on, but that's when Katt Williams came forward with the receipts. According to him, Chappelle's show didn't make a few million. It raked in nearly $500 million, $500 million. And the deal said Dave was supposed to get half. That means he should have been sitting on $250 million. But when it was time to collect, Comedy Central told him something insane, that he had earned too much for his original contract to count anymore. Imagine that. You create their biggest hit, make them rich beyond belief, and when payday comes, they start rewriting the rules. That's when they dangled the now infamous $50 million offer in front of him. But that wasn't a reward, it was a silencing check. A way to say, take this, stay quiet, and keep working, or leave with nothing. Dave saw the setup immediately. He knew that signing that deal meant giving away his voice, his image, even his ideas. And whenever an artist refuses to bow down, the industry moves fast to destroy their name. Like Katt said, they kill your character before they kill your contract.
So I got ahead of schedule, and I bounced. And I didn't tell anybody where I was going. The whole time, they're trying to convince me I'm insane. They were trying to get me to take psychotic medication. Yeah, like I'm sitting around, I was stressed out, but the people that were telling me I was insane, I believe that they knew what was going on. So, this was troublesome.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not taking this medicine, man, because I know these people be trying to control you or maybe discredit you. I was afraid,
But you were stressed out. That's why.
There's no question. But it's very stressful for someone to constantly walk behind you and say, you're insane. Oh, hey, how about this? I showed up to work the first week, and where my office used to be, they built a wall there.
Why?
I didn't know why. But it came out later that they were like, well, they said you wanted it. I don't want to be walled up in the office.
That's when everything around Dave flipped in an instant. One day, he was the biggest name in comedy. The next, the media was calling him unstable and strung out. Suddenly, every headline followed the same script. Dave Chappelle turns down $50 million. Dave Chappelle escapes to Africa. Dave Chappelle suffers mental breakdown. It wasn't random gossip. It was a coordinated smear campaign, a full-blown PR move designed to make him look crazy instead of controlled. Dave himself later confirmed it. Once he began questioning certain sketches and speaking up about how things were being handled behind the scenes, the energy around him changed fast. People he thought were allies started acting strange, distant, cautious. When he refused to compromise his integrity or play the roles they wanted him to play, the story flipped overnight. The goal was clear: to make the world believe that Dave was the problem, not the people pulling the strings.
Why'd you walk away from $50 million?
Well, I wasn't walking away from the money.
Yeah.
I was walking away from the circumstances that were coming with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It takes a while when you punch through to adjust to the atmosphere. It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay. When you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through, and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Once that crazy label gets attached to your name, it's game over. The headlines do all the dirty work for them. We've seen it happen again and again. To Katt, Britney, Kanye, and so many others before. It's always the same playbook. The moment you stand up to your handlers or question the system, they brand you as unstable. Then suddenly, everything you built starts to crumble right in front of you. And honestly, that's the best case outcome. Because when the smear campaign fails, when the public refuses to believe the lies, or when fans love you too much to let you be cancelled, that's when things turn even darker. Hollywood has another method for dealing with people who won't play along. They don't just silence you, they erase you permanently.
His son, out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that. In order to control, traumatize, they want to monetize and traumatize.
It always seems to begin the same way: a mysterious crash, an unexpected overdose, or a sudden accidental drowning. And the saddest part? Once they've already painted you as unstable, no one even stops to question the story. People just accept it. We've seen this pattern over and over again: celebrities who start speaking up about shady contracts, manipulation, and who's really in control somehow end up gone too soon. And every time, their death gets neatly packaged into a tidy, tragic headline that makes the truth easy to ignore.
A lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen.
When you really think about what Dave did, not just walking away from that $50 million deal, but disappearing to another continent without even telling his own wife, you realize the pressure behind the scenes must have been far worse than anyone knew. Nobody makes a move like that unless they are genuinely afraid for their life. The fact that Dave came out of that situation alive is almost a miracle in itself. We've all seen how the system operates. They drag your name through the mud, gaslight you, feed you pills, twist your contracts, and try to strip away everything you built. Most artists crumble under that kind of pressure. Some get stuck in it forever. But Dave didn't. He saw the setup for what it was, refused to play their game, and walked away with his freedom intact. He made it out of the fire and eventually made a legendary comeback. But some longtime fans still say something's changed. They swear he's not the same fearless voice he once was during the Chappelle Show days. His jokes feel more careful now, less rebellious. He doesn't call out the system like he used to, and when he does go hard, it's often aimed downward instead of up. Maybe that's part of survival. Maybe the system doesn't just destroy you, it reshapes you. It breaks you down just enough to make sure that if you return, you come back softer, quieter, safer. Yes, Dave's successful again. He's rich, respected, and still one of the greatest to ever do it. But the version of Dave who once walked away from $500 million, the one who fearlessly exposed everything wrong with the industry, that Dave might never come back. So, what do you think? Was Dave really in danger back then? Did escaping to Africa save his life? And the man we see on stage today, is he still the same Dave Chappelle, or did surviving the system change him for good? Let me know what you think, because this story might be over, but the conversation isn't.